Hey, beautiful. I'm back. And so last week, let me see this video so that we get out the way. Okay, here we go. Last week in the in last week's video, I talked about how men test women. And so I was looking at the comments and I see so many questions about how to pass a man's test or, maybe the test that you give to men. And so here's what I want to say. Don't be concerned about passing a man's test because you are the prize, period. Why I'm saying that you're the prize is because women influence men more than they influence us. There are men out there who are wanting just to get laid and they're seeking advice from other men. And this to me, I'm collecting this as evidence that women hold, like, you're the keeper, right? You hold the prize, meaning that you influence men more than they influence us. So don't worry about whether you pass this test or not. What you can be worried about, the area that I would redirect you to, is to determine and decide, does he qualify or not? Period. And in order to determine if a man qualifies for you or not, you have to know what you want. That's where you have to get really, really clear. And you might say, well, I know that I want him. Well, once I typically take my clients through this process, you get totally clear about what it is that you want so that you're not so attached to just, really one man, but you have a vision that you can really get into. So don't be so concerned about, passing a man's test. Leave that alone. That's a low quality thought. Another thing that I want to share with you is that you don't have to worry about testing men, right? Not knowingly. You don't knowingly test men. And oftentimes, even some of those tests that I shared in the video last week, oftentimes men may subconsciously do this, right? Because they don't know any better or they're not really mature enough. So they're not really in that empowered state. So if a woman wants to knowingly test a man, you're not in an empowered state, and nothing good can come from that because you always want to be acting in a way that's going to bring forth profit in your life. You want to be acting in a way that's going to produce a favorable outcome for you. So you don't have to test men. Instead, what you want to do is to examine and observe. Okay? Examine and observe to see if what you are looking at feels true to you. Okay? Truth is not taught, is not revealed. Truth is felt. And in order for you to feel what's true for you and to bring you closer to your desired ideal man, your loving, committed, awesome, passionate, and peaceful relationship, you gotta know what you want. I mean, that's just it. Okay, and so when we go into this whole manipulation thing, you are vibrating at a lower. You are vibrating at a lower level, and it's a low quality pursuit. That's what I want to say. It's a low quality pursuit to intentionally test men. If you're a young woman watching this, that's just where you are in life. You kind of do those things until someone comes in and teaches you something else. But those aren't really my people. My sweet spot is women 30 to 50, more mature, established women, whether or not you fall within that age range. If you find yourself, if you feel that you are mature and you are established, then this video is for you. So don't worry about, testing men. Definitely don't worry about and concern yourself about passing his test. You need to worry and concern yourself with, does this man qualify? Meaning, can you see yourself building a life with him or not? Especially when it comes to the whole spending money, because I remember one time I had gone out with this guy. He wanted to take me out in something. And for me, going out to eat or, doing something in that nature is just sort of a given for me. And so I remember he obliged, and I'm not really trying to create obligation. It's all about the invitation and inspiration, and instead of going into manipulation and control and all that stuff. But anyway, we went out, and I noticed that he didn't order anything. We just went to a little local place, and he didn't order anything. And I was like, okay, well, this man doesn't have money. I'm not going into judgment of him, right? Because one thing that I know is that money comes and money goes. But instead, I'm just having in the back of my mind, like, okay, he's not in a place right now where where he qualifies. I mean, that's it. He's not in a place right now where he qualifies. So that was really a dead end story. So instead of worrying about tests and all this other stuff, I want to just share some areas of what you can observe and examine for. Number one, examine yourself. Examine yourself to find out, because you know the truth. Women know, like you know the man who is near you. You have intuition. Like someone wrote a comment about, I can't even find it here. She wrote a comment about, um, is he testing me in terms of texting and all these different things? Like, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes men don't knowingly do these things. Before meeting my husband was out of practice, meaning that he wasn't in a relationship for 5 years before he met me, which meant that he was not used to checking in, which meant that which evident, like the way that it played out was that he would kind of call me every 3 days. And I jokingly said to him, I don't remember what the conversation was, but I was like, you only call me every 3 days. And he was like, oh, somebody else told me that. And then I remember saying, well, what happened with that? And he was just kind of like, nothing, but he picked it up with me. There was another point where, he wasn't checking in. I was in a relationship and I was used to checking in with someone. And so I remember he said something to the extent of, well, I'm not doing that. And I just told him, like, well, if you don't want to check in, you don't want to be in a relationship. You don't want to be in a relationship, not with me. Okay. And so I saw that behavior change. When you begin to step into your worth and own your influence, operate more from your feminine allure, you ain't got to play no games. You just speak your truth, right? Because you know what you want and you know that it's out there and it's available for you because you have an abundant mindset. All right. So to go back to the areas where you want to observe men, right? You do want to check out for his consistency. I talked about this before. Checking out for his consistency and how he's calling you. How is he around his friends? Does he do what he says he's going to do? Is he a man of his word? You also want to check him out in the areas of women. How does he hang? Like when you're around other people, how does he hang around? Like how does he interact? Is he like staring other women down, or is he just like, oh, and kind of look the other way? you know? How is he with money? Is he spendy? Is he trying to get into the fashions and like keep up with the Joneses, or is he really prudent and wise? And maybe he really invests in quality things, but he doesn't go nickel and diamond at Walgreens or something, or at the casino, or at the strip club, or all these, other places. He's not nickel and diamond. When I say nickel and diamond, what I mean is that, how sometimes you can walk into Target and Walgreens, you go in there expecting to spend maybe, I don't know, $25, and next thing you know, it's like 67, and you're like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, you're like, where did the money go? That's nickel and diamond. That's something that term is something I learned from my husband. So I just want to leave you with that for right now. And the main thing is that there is no need to test men. There's no need to knowingly test men. And if you don't knowingly test men, because if you find that you are unknowingly testing them, that means that you are really in an immature state. You're not you're not in an empowered state. And that's where you always want to be. You want to exist as love consistently. You want to show up as the alluring like high value woman. And to go into testing men or to worry about and concern yourself about passing a men test is a low quality thought, and those are low quality pursuits that do not bring forth profit in your life. This is why you are that's why you're the keeper. Because men want their spiritual standard to be raised. Okay. And this is such a privilege. I know it sounds like a lot of pressure, but it really is a privilege to be in this power, in this position as a woman, especially in 2018. So I hope that this information served you. Also, I had gotten some comments about tests. I'm not going to give a response. I'm not going to share. There's no time to talk about how to respond to the test. That's something that is reserved for my private clients because each situation is really different. So, separate the good from the bad and adhere to what's good, and whatever feels like truth to you, take it and run. Okay. If this video served you, do me a favor, like it, subscribe, and share this video. Share my channel with just 2 women that you know, because when you share, you add value. If you want to learn more, if you want to tap into my community or even potentially work with me, go ahead and click on the link below. There is a complimentary, it's a free video series, and it's called Be the Woman Who Gets Everything That She Wants, especially for men. My name is Monique Head. I'll see you in the next video. God bless and take care.